Hello, hello. This is Corey Network King with Taste Urban. Hope everybody's doing well today. Thank you for joining us with this video. Hey, it's April, and April is, if you did not know, International Black Women's History Month. Yes, for some people that say, I didn't know that. Yes. A woman by the name of Shay Battle. This was her initiative, and she actually got in 2016, the governor, Nathan Deal, at the time, to sign it into proclamation then. So this has been something that has been celebrated since then. We found out about it, and we were going to be having a Taste Urban event in April. We then needed a theme, and we said, what better theme to highlight Black Women's History Month with focusing on Black women in business. So if you haven't been to Taste Urban yet, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Taste Urban, what we do is feature Black-owned caterers, bakers, liquor companies, as well as products and services. Most times people think that it's a food event, which it actually isn't. It is a sampling of Black businesses around Atlanta. We want you to taste Black excellence in business around Atlanta. It's driven by food because, you know, we like our food. So it's driven by the food, but once you get there to get the food, now you're gonna actually start getting all these other things that you can actually start having these Black businesses around your entire life. You can actually do business with them, not just support them, but do business with them. So in April, we are gonna be featuring, spotlighting, focusing on some Black women in business, some women that if you don't know who they are, you need to know who they are. And I don't know if y'all ready today. I don't know if y'all ready today. I met this young lady. How long have we known each other?
Maybe 2015.
If not earlier. That's maybe earlier.
Oh, you know what? You're right.
Earlier. I think
you're
earlier.
right. I think we circled each other online probably around 2010.
Yes.
And
I have always been hearing about Jay, but you're not gonna be able to see the power of Jay unless you are in front of her. Jay Stone is this superpower, killing the internet, killing social media with branding and things like that. She is just fresh off of being on the Roland Martin show just a couple days ago. Listen, so much about Jay. So I'm so happy to bring in Miss Jay Steezy. What's going on, Jay?
Oh my goodness. First of all, hi people. Hi.
Hey everyone. Listen, if you do not know who Jay Stone is, go to your computer right now, Google Jay Stone, follow her, all that. We're gonna let her talk about all of that. But Jay, first and foremost, how are you doing today?
I'm amazing. One of the things, like, I always love when I get a chance, we're both so busy, we don't get to see each other and talk as much as we would like, right? Yeah. But you are truly the network king. I was talking about how you had your team reach out to me and I was like, hey guys, great, where's Corey? Right?
I heard everything you said, but where's Corey?
Where he at though?
When do I get to talk to him? I see you and I respect you, sis.
Right.
But when do I get to see him?
Right. And so that's the lead in, right? That ability to make people crave your connection, your time, your attention. Yeah. That is the foundation of building a strong brand that attracts people.
And that is what you have been helping businesses do for how long now?
25 years. I've been in business 20 years. I've been in the industry 25 years.
How about that? Now, what made you say, you know what, I want to start helping people with their brand. I want to start helping people be seen. I want their mission to be communicated, let's say visually. What made you want to start doing that?
So this is really interesting because one of the things I always tell people is I didn't just build a brand. Branding is my career. Right. So prior to being an entrepreneur, I worked in the branding department at Coca-Cola, Delta Airlines. I worked in marketing for Hewlett Packard. And so I worked for 6 different Fortune 5 companies in some aspect of marketing.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
And then I got laid off for September 11th.
Yeah.
So that happened. I was working at Delta, and the airline industry, hospitality in general, got hit pretty hard. So I got laid off.
Yeah.
But a few months before I got laid off, my father had some complications from a surgery and became a quadriplegic. And my sisters and I promised to take care of him at home, right? So here I am with a father who's a quadriplegic at home, requiring care 18 hours a day, and then I lose this cushy corporate job. So my goal was to go back to corporate America, right? Take a few months, get the family settled, get into a new normal, a new rhythm, right? And so what I decided to do was just help out a few family friends who needed some branding and some websites and things like that. I started out as actually in the industry as a graphic designer, right?
Okay.
I moved forward from that. I don't do graphics anymore, but that's where I started. And fast forward 20 years, right? And we're here. And so it started out as one, I needed the freedom and flexibility to take care of my dad. I knew that I couldn't go back in a corporate job and still commit to care. So my goal was make enough money to pay for the health, and then you can go back to work. Well, as it turned out, the money I was making in the business was more money than I was making in corporate America, right?
That's
and the care to take care of him at home. Remember, he's a quadriplegic, so from the shoulders down, So the care was quite expensive. So what made me want to help other entrepreneurs is I needed the freedom and flexibility. And at that time, because think 20 years ago, working remotely, working from home, it wasn't a thing.
It was very
rare. But I did it starting 20 years ago. And what I understood was I got to make my own schedule. I got to work when it was convenient for me, right? I found out that I was at that time a night hawk, and I was more productive at night. But and so I was able to create.
I like that. I don't know if y'all caught that. A night. I've been saying night owl. She said a night hawk. I like that.
Right. I was a night hawk because I was on.
I like that.
And so with all of that, the freedom and flexibility so probably around 2000, and initially I had all corporate clients, okay? But around 2010, that's the time when social media became a big deal, right? And I was already blogging. I was already doing that. And so I was one of the early people on Facebook. I created a blog on Facebook. I created a blog on my website, and the content started to take me viral. And what I started to realize is that there were other people who had children that they needed to take care of. They had spouses, they had special needs family members, and they were forced to go back into corporate America and work under those terms, right? Under those terms. And so my goal was, wait a minute, but you can do this and you can do that. You can do this. So why not start a business, right? Why not start a business? Why not build a brand? And so I think the thing was, when I first got really highly visible online, people kept saying, well, who did your website? Who did your logo? Who did your colors? Why is your stuff so nice? And I was like, yeah, this is what I do for a living. Well, can you do it for me? Well, absolutely. Right. And so that's really how it got started. One, me seeing opportunities with other people to have flexibility and freedom. And then two, people seeing what I was able to accomplish and asking me to help them do the same
thing. It is so interesting how, when you talk to people who have started a business and you typically ask them, how did that start? And most oftentimes I was solving a problem for myself. And then once I looked up and started noticing, wait a minute, it's not just me that has this problem. There's other people who have the same problem too. And then when they're coming to you and telling you they have that problem, now it's like, oh, wow, I can actually leverage this to start now having these freedoms and stuff like that. That is absolutely, I love that. Love that. Love that. So you have been dealing with these large brands. You've now been able to create this freedom for yourself. You got in early. I remember this was probably, this was 12 years ago. I was sitting on a panel. Dex Digital did this event at the Cobb Energy Center. I'm sitting on a panel and we're talking about networking and business or whatever. And then a question about social media came up. And I literally had just said on stage that, yes, I'm not really big on social media. Like I haven't, not the biggest one on technology. And then the moderator asked the question on social media and went directly to me. And I was like, Like, dude, I literally out of my mouth just said that I'm not big on it. And I always think about that situation because I think back now, when I look at like how many contacts I have in my email address, how many contacts I have on LinkedIn, I'm like, man, what if I was big on social media or IG and stuff like that, where I would be right now, right?
Right.
But I look at you and you said 20 years ago, you were doing stuff virtually.
Yeah.
And you knew that when the social media came out, like you started already, you were that early innovator when it came to that.
Yeah.
What have you seen as far as, or how has that helped you that because you were already on that train, especially today when everything is now, everybody has caught up to you now as far as this virtual thing. Like, how has that helped you? How has that catapulted you to where you're at right now?
So let's talk for a quick second, because I think it's really important. We know that there is a technology gap with women of color, right? Okay. So there's a technology gap between men and women, and then there's a technology gap between Black women and everybody else, right? We don't embrace and love technology in a lot of cases. It's frustrating. It's not straightforward. One day it works, the next day it doesn't. So we have a lot of trauma and fear around technology, and sometimes that keeps us from pushing forward. So here's what I'm going to tell you. And one of the reasons I'm an early adapter is, number one, I like shit easy. Okay. I like stuff easy, and technology for me makes it easy. I can make it, I can move faster. I can keep going. I can handle a lot of things.
Right.
But the other thing that I need people to see, because this is huge. Okay. All right. Your profit is in your ability to pivot. Okay. Like your profit is in your ability to pivot. Okay. Like I can't tell you how many times I had to shift my business model to stay in business for 20 years.
Yeah.
Okay. And so if we look at recent events, yes, I was doing Zoom. Okay. I was doing Zoom 7-8 years ago. Okay. I've been doing Zoom. Okay. So when the pandemic hit and people were struggling with Zoom, I did a video about branding your Zoom background. It now has 93,000 views. Okay. From 2 years ago, 93,000 views. Why? Because I already knew it. Why? Because that helps me monetize my YouTube channel, right? So adapting the technology early, making the pivot in your business model early, it makes a major difference. Yeah. How has it helped me? Because now I've been able to reach more people, do more things. I remember, Corey, you remember when we met, I had an office, right? Mm-hmm. People used to have to book an appointment, get directions, park, come here. We set up a meeting. I'm doing an audio recording of the meeting so that they can listen back later.
Right.
All of that. Right. And they just want to see me in person. We talk. I got to pay.
Right. I got to
come in. They got to pay for hotel. They got to pay for lunch. Okay. Now I'm on Zoom. Guess what? Here's a link. Show up. We talk. Record it. Boom. I'm done. Here you go. Go about your life. Guess what? It saved everybody time. It saved us money. Yeah. And it gave them an additional resource, right? Yeah. So now I can serve more people at a faster pace.
Yes. Throughout this whole pandemic, we were talking about the law of polarity, where it states that there's two sides to everything. And when the pandemic came in, because it was so big, I mean, in our lifetime, when we've noticed something that happened globally, right? And there was so much negativity around it, it's hard to see that there's another side, the positive parts. But in business, oh man, especially for those of us that do these meetings, that are looking at shaving time, that are looking at expanding ourselves out, this was the way to do it. And when we start talking about those early adopters versus critical mass, like the pandemic forced everybody to get online in a very short period of time, which most times that doesn't happen. Like you said, in business, we all know about those early adopters, and then it slowly starts trickling up until it hits critical mass, which takes years to do. The pandemic forced that in. So now we are reaping the benefit. And you're so right that I wrote this down, profit in the pivot. If businesses aren't able to pivot, then they are going to lose, period.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think, though, it's important to understand that women right now are in a unique opportunity, in a place that we've never been able to be in before, right? We just got our first African-American justice, right? Supreme Court justice.
Right.
You know, we have a woman of color that's the vice president of the United States. We are in unique positions now, not only of power, but also unique positions of credibility and visibility. So now is the time to push because the avenues of success are wide open.
Yes, there are so many nuggets out there of saying it's time.
It's time.
It's time.
It's time. It's time. But here's why I feel like it's time, right? One of the lessons that we got out of the pandemic is that we don't want to be enslaved to a job, right? We don't want to be chained to a desk all day, you know? And guess what? I can play games with Junior and help him with his homework and still get all my work done because I'm working at home and taking Zoom or Skype calls, right? Or doing chats. And so people are now more productive working from home, right? That was something that corporate America had to see. Now you got corporations shutting down entire buildings, right? Because now it's cheaper for people to work from home because they don't have to pay for all their real estate.
Right.
You can work from home. I just ship you a computer. That's cheaper than paying real estate rent. Right. So corporations are getting wiser, right? Why aren't we getting wiser? Particularly, I want to talk to women about the entrepreneurs who want to start a business, right?
Yeah.
You now have an opportunity to be free. You now have an opportunity to be flexibility. You now have the opportunity to reduce your overhead, reduce your debt, right? If you're working from home now and you got a car note that's killing you, get rid of the car. You know, they got car sharing services and not just Uber. They got cars that you can rent for a day for $20. They got all kinds of stuff. So if the debt is killing you, reduce the debt, right? If you got to pay for clothes, now you don't have all those expenses with clothes. When you reduce your debt, it gives you a lot of freedom to make different choices around how you make money.
You know, and I'm so glad you said it like that because that completely makes sense when you now start talking about, let's say in business terms, cost cutting, being more efficient, getting these expenses down so you can increase your bottom line so that you have more resources for your business, right? And these are some of the aspects because of this virtual environment right now that you can do.
Right. But I want to take 2 seconds to just talk to women right now about, my whole audience is women. I help service-based businesses build online. Right? Use online resources to build and expand what they offer.
Yes.
And I want to talk about the freedom in that, right? The freedom and flexibility. You can have a laptop lifestyle and be completely successful. Right?
Yeah.
You can have a laptop lifestyle and be completely successful. And by that, I mean, you take your laptop wherever you got to be and wherever you got to go. If it's on vacation, if it's on travel, and you can still produce the work and work for the clients and still have the freedom and flexibility. Take a 2-hour lunch break and be on the beach, for lunch or for coffee and croissants.
Yeah.
You can do that now. And I think that we can now get over the mommy guilt or the wifey guilt or the sister guilt or the daughter guilt, right? For not being able to spend time with friends and family because you can still do those things. And guess what? After the cookout, you can actually go at midnight and get in 2 or 3 hours of work and still go to sleep and get up and make kids breakfast in the morning.
Yes.
Right? Because who told you that you had to work 9 to 5?
Right.
Who said it?
Right.
You work for yourself.
Think about who said that, who was pushing that propaganda on it, right? But you're absolutely right. Now is one of those opportunities where a person can, I don't want to say have it all, but to actually be able to do all of it, get it all in. They're not having to make as much of a sacrifice before. Either I'm gonna get this bag or I'm gonna spend time with my kids. And we were all knowing that you really couldn't have both, but now you can.
Right. You can. And if we look at there's a couple of trends we should pay attention to, which is one is subscription models, right? Excuse me. So when I say subscription models, if you think about Amazon Prime, right? We pay more to get things faster. People pay for convenience. They pay to reduce their overwhelm, right? So, I have a membership online. People pay a monthly fee. We give them one master class that puts everything in bite-sized pieces, or we give them a bundle of templates from Canva that makes everything easy. If you have the ability to take something that's really complex and make it really super simple and put it in bite-sized pieces, people will pay a monthly fee to get that information dripped to them, right?
Yeah.
So whether you have physical products, whether you have service-based products, you can set up a subscription opportunity for yourself.
Let's talk about that. When did you say to yourself, you know what? I need to get on this subscription thing. I need to start having some reoccurring revenue coming in.
Right. And I think that what happened was when I started to experience some burnout because, I ran an agency. So I had a lot of clients in there, right? Very demanding clients, great money, lots of big paying clients, but it was taxing, right?
Yeah.
Physically and emotionally, it was taxing. I loved the money, but it started to tax on me as the person.
Yeah.
One of the things we really have to understand that as business owners and CEOs is that you have to protect the vessel, right? Your precious cargo. And so if you get hit by a donkey, what happens to the business, right?
Yeah.
Particularly if you're a solopreneur or a micropreneur, right?
Yeah.
And so I wasn't protecting myself. I was sacrificing myself. I was putting myself on the front lines every time. And I started to experience burnout. I started to be tired and overwhelmed and highly irritable, and just not being able to really function as a good person, right? I didn't like who I was becoming. And so when the pandemic hit and I'm sitting at home, right, sitting in my house, trying to figure it out, one of the things is I have a heart for helping people.
Yeah.
I decided to start teaching my community Canva to give them something to keep their minds occupied. So I would create these templates and I would drop the templates.
Yeah.
And every time I dropped the templates, they only had 24 hours to download the template, right? That made them move quickly, right? That's one of the things I train my community. See, a lot of times we, particularly people of color, we take our time, I'll do that later, we procrastinate. No, right? The profit is in the pivot and we have to pivot quickly. Right. So I gave them a deadline to get it, right? And if they didn't get it and we took it down, it's gone. It's done.
You missed it.
You missed it, right? And so they were programmed to come in and get it, right? But then they start saying, what if I miss this one? What if I miss that one? Am I going to be able to buy it? Can I buy it later? Sure. Right?
You can.
Sure.
I created a product just for you.
Exactly for you, right? And that's when I started to understand the ability to do not just templates, but trainings for people behind a paywall. And I think I launched it at $17 a month. I think it's $27 a month for the rest of April, and then it goes to $37 a month. Yeah. And so the price creeped up, but who doesn't drop? Who cares about, most people ain't thinking about $17 a month or $27 a month. They spend that at Starbucks, right?
Right.
So one thing, it was a low price point.
Yep.
The second thing it was, I understood that because of the low price point, I could get volume and get people in.
Yep.
And the third thing was I saw an opportunity to create recurring revenue. And it was actually my accountant at the time that was like, girl, can you do a subscription on this? And I was like, I don't know how to do this. And so I actually took a course on how to create a membership.
There you go.
And launched it during the pandemic. I launched it in 2020, in the height of the pandemic. I launched it around December of 2020.
Good for you. I remember we had a membership, and this was probably about 5 or 6 years ago. And I remember sitting in my home office, and every month when, that money would drop, right? And I think at the time I only had about maybe 200 people paying, $15 to $30 per month. And I just remember thinking, wow, like I have created something where people who I don't know have not just paid once, but have subscribed to it and are paying monthly for this. I am receiving these dollars from, again, people that I don't even know. And it was such a humbling experience. Yeah. Like how do you feel about knowing that, that the stuff that you're teaching people, women primarily, like this is kind of life-changing, business-changing material?
Well, it's interesting because I think humanity at its core wants to serve and help. We feel very fulfilled when we help and we serve. I think that's generally a human thing, right? When we
Yeah.
make people happy or successful. For me, I've started to understand it's my purpose.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And I want to talk to people now because there's a difference between purpose and passion. I'm passionate
Very
about
much.
eating, I'm passionate about eating fucking cake, right?
Right.
But that ain't my purpose.
Right.
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 So your purpose is also profitable. I say
Mm.
that, right? Your purpose is
Yeah.
also profitable. So now there are some people who do a profit, who have a nonprofit, but nonprofits still make money, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Nonprofits still earn money.
Right.
Because why? When you work in your purpose, God's approach is not to leave you broken, destitute by helping the masses.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
So your purpose is going to also lead you to profits, right?
Yeah.
And so what I learned is my purpose, because I thought my purpose was helping people live authentically. You know, emotional nudity was my thing. I want people to just be authentic and honest and open, and life would happen and they would open up doors, and I wasn't making no money.
Right. Well, it wasn't making no money.
Right. And then people started, everybody wanted me to work with branding. So what I learned is that I meshed the two together. I
Yes.
focused on creating authentic.
Yes. Yeah.
So the message of authenticity and honesty is still a core value for how I help people build brands.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, I've been able to focus on helping people because my purpose is to give people the freedom and break them out of the bondage that I was in and give them the freedom.
Yeah.
So I didn't just say, oh yeah, God gave me this as a purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. And last question, why Black women? You worked with all of these big brands.
So my focus isn't Black women, it's women in general.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
But I also serve and speak to who organically comes to me, right? Okay. Organically, more Black women come to me, but I have several clients that are other ethnicities.
Right.
But I have to speak from my experience. I have a Black woman's experience.
Yeah.
So I talk a lot about what my experience is in navigating the world. Now, some women of other colors can also relate to some of the things that I struggle with, like obesity, right?
Yeah.
And how it affected me building my business,
yeah.
or taking care of a parent, or feeling inadequate in some way.
Yeah.
But then they can't talk to me about what it felt like with George Floyd. You see, there's a whole different situation about how I feel, right? When I see our sisters kidnapped and plucked off the street, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So my experience of the world is a Black woman's experience, and I speak to that. But I don't only serve them. Gotcha.
Well, listen, I know that, I mean, we can talk for hours. I absolutely love you, and I adore you have this love for people. You know, you have this love for helping people, and that is shown just being around you. Again, and for you to do the things that you have done to just really have your business mature to a certain place. And again, a lot of it, what I love about you is that you create things for you, right? But then you turn around and say, it's like that person who goes and conquers something over here for them. And then they're like, okay, guys, it's safe. You guys go ahead and come. Go ahead and come. You know, I'm doing this for us, you know?
Right.
And that is such a powerful, noble thing that you do. And I truly appreciate about that. And that's one of the reasons why I want to continue supporting you however I can, helping building your platform with that. Please let the people know how they can find you. I know you had talked about Biz Candy. Tell them where they can sign up for that, because if you're not a part of Biz Candy, you need to be. So go ahead and tell them where to find you, and tell them about Biz Candy.
Yeah, and so on social media, well, I'm just going to tell you, go to joinbizcandy.com, JOIN, join Biz Candy, all one word, joinbizcandy.com. And it is a membership for service-based businesses who want to expand their reach and their services online. Again, right now it's $27 per month to join. And what we focus on is master classes, like helping you build your business, your operations, your marketing strategies, your online presence, but also the CEO stuff, you know, mindset, time management, those kinds of things. Yeah. We also drop a monthly bundle of Canva templates to help just make life a lot easier for yourself, right? The other thing is it's a community. Entrepreneurship, particularly in this post-pandemic era, is isolating, right? So there's a community there of us because we're communal creatures.
Yeah.
If you want to just follow me on social media, I'm JAISTONE, J Stone, everywhere across all platforms.
Love it. Love it. Jay Stone, I love you dearly. I hope that will you be joining us April 20th?
I will be in the house on April 20th.
Listen, so there it is. So Jay is going to be there April 20th. For those of you that haven't purchased your ticket yet, what are you doing? Like, sometimes you got to ask yourself, my decision-making skills, where are they at? Right?
What are we doing?
But that's fine. Tickets are still on sale. So you can go to tasteurban.com to get your tickets. Tickets are still on sale. Now, if you want to exhibit at the event, sorry, you missed that. We have sold out of exhibitor tables. Jay, do you know that we had over 50 tables at the last event? This event, we are a little over 70 tables sold. At the last event, we had a little over 300 people. This one, we're on schedule right now to do between 400 to 500 people. Like, let me tell you, Atlanta has been coming out and supporting this event and really supporting the businesses at this event, and not just supporting, doing business with businesses at this event. So with that, again, tasteurban.com, April 20th at the Foundry. You'll be able to see Jay there, chop it up with her. Again, it's going to be amazing. Jay Stone, again, I love you. Love you. So glad that we were able to catch up. And hey, can't wait to see you next week.
Yay.
All right. Love it. All right, guys. Have a great day.